You know, jewelry can really make meaningful gifts, and you don't have to spend a lot of time to make something special. So, you know, we've talked a little bit about beads on this show, and prayer beads can be another meaningful way of adding spirit and grounding to your jewelry pieces. So I like to use stone beads, but even if you don't have stones on hand, you can start out with color, because all of the colors have a different meaning, right? So let's start with the pink beads here in the front. And pink is symbolic of love and an open heart. So if you have a friend who's needing that in her life, of course you can make a little bracelet with that, or a necklace, even a pair of earrings would be nice. Orange is the color of joy. Wooden beads can provide grounding. And of course, you know, I'm giving you some ideas here, but there are many different iterations of beliefs when it comes to beads. These are just some that I've read about. Turquoise beads are for the spirit. They're to get kind of a higher thinking. Blue beads, all these different shades of blue, can bring some peacefulness into your jewelry making. Purple is a color for harmony. It's also a color for spiritual side. So if someone's needing that in their life, you can make them something purple. This kind of pinky red color is a way to bring fire. So somebody who really needs to have a lot of energy could benefit from this color. And then of course, multicolor rainbow type, you can cover every possibility when you're using rainbow beads. And they also have a connotation for a pride movement. So there's that. I love the rainbow because it's just one of my favorite styles to have all the different colors together. Now, I want to show you how to make a couple of bracelets. And these are simple leather pieces that combine different types of beads. Like here we have some carnelian color, some turquoise. So this is going to be a really grounding piece. And it also uses an Om button. So you could choose any button that you want to, but the Om and the lotus kind of go together to make it a really peaceful piece. So you're going to start out with a piece of leather. It's about, I would say, a little bit more than a foot, so about 18 inches. And we'll have the instructions online. But then you're going to take your button and string it through the back of the leather, and you're just going to make an overhand knot. And it is a little bit tricky, I think. You need to make sure that you have a long enough tail that you can knot it. All right, so I'm just going to wrap it around. I need a little bit more of a tail. And then tie it in an overhand knot. You're just going to snug this knot up against the base of the button, like that. Make sure it's tight. You could add a little bit of jeweler cement there if you wanted to. It would make it a little bit more secure. And then the first thing that you string is your charm. So charm first, and then you can see the pattern here. We're just going to do beads, spacers. I love adding a little bit of metal into my designs. It's kind of like the salt that you sprinkle into your recipe. It punctuates and gives the eye a place to rest. So you'll always want to, when you're working with this type of bracelet, you want to make sure that you're using large hole beads. So measure that out first before you get started, or you might be frustrated. These are 6mm stone, and then about a 10mm disc. And I like the combination of turquoise and carnelian together. Those are, that's a traditional combo to do red and turquoise or orange and turquoise. So let's see. Get our beads going here. And you could use different types of spacers. You could use different types of stone beads. And then the magic happens when you do the closure. So we'll take the leather here. You want to leave a little bit of a tail again. And then you just tie this in an overhand knot. So you have a long loop here. All right, so you have a long loop, and then you can fasten the bracelet by putting it over the button. And I love this look, and this would make a great stacking bracelet. It also makes a great gift, of course. So another way that you can do the bracelet is to make it adjustable. This one is not adjustable. You would need to know the size of the person's wrist for this one. But to create an adjustable bracelet, it's the same piece of leather, about, let's see, I believe this one is about 20 inches. Yep. And then you string a bead onto the center, string your charm. There are so many fun charms that you can use. This one is the yin yang. This is symbolic of, opposites, and I love that look. It creates a sense of balance. All right, so we have a spacer on each side. Now to create the adjustable portion, first we're going to tie an overhand knot in the center. So let's get everything to the middle here. You could tie a more decorative knot here if you wanted to. Basically, you're just creating something so that your pieces don't slide around. All right, so we've got that in the middle. And now we're going to use a large hole bead. This hole is large enough for the leather to pass through it twice. So we'll place it here, and then place the leather through the other side. And I think it's easier if you just trim it off a little bit at an angle so that you can get it through the other end. All right, let me grab my pliers. I'm just going to pull the end through. So you have both sides going through the bead. And now you're just going to tie a knot in the end. And this, you can adjust this a little bit more, like that looks kind of gigantic. So that looks a little bit more like my wrist size. And then I can tie an overhand knot on each end. This is going to make a great little gift. I'll cut off the end. And then tie the other end. And you can use the same technique to make necklaces. You just want to start out with a much longer piece of leather so that it fits over your head. And then you can adjust it, to a choker size, just like you can adjust this bracelet. So this is a nice way to make jewelry for men and for women and even kids, and it makes a great gift. So let's take a look out here at the green and purple. I think these are fun examples of different ways that you can bring in the color and the charm to create different meanings. So the green one is symbolic of wisdom, and the purple one is for harmony. And then, of course, you can choose different types of buttons if you're making that original button type of bracelet. I just love all the different buttons that are available, and they're in different metallic finishes. They're all pewter, and they're really fun, especially these little skulls you can use for different occasions, like maybe Halloween. And the dragonfly is symbolic of transformation. So these are just some ideas of ways that you can create some easy gifts for your friends and family.